So DayZ's finally in beta. I'm just going to spend this video today having a look at a few bits and pieces on DayZ, what's been added into it. Sorry, I sound a little bit rough. I've had a cold and it's just lagging around. Yeah, I'm just going to spend this video having a look at some of the bits and pieces that they put into it. So everything that's been updated, like the engine, the interface, all the movement mechanics, gun mechanics, using different items, sounds, food, drink, all that sort of stuff. And I'm just going to put it into this video and have a look at a few different bits and pieces. So yeah, let's get on with it. So, DayZ beta, let's have a look, see what we've got. I decided to narrate this instead of actually sort of talking in-game while playing it, because I was on it for a good nearly 5 hours, just having this little adventure, and to be honest, not a lot of stuff happened, just a few bits and pieces, but it was enough to sort of gather what I wanted to put across and what I could see so far. I haven't played DayZ properly for about 8 months to a year because of an update had come out, you have a few raves about it, you go in, have a look, realise not much has changed, and people just go off again. That's unless you're a hardcore DayZ fan, but it still has its community out there, you know, for all its faults. But to me, I'd lost interest in it. I put so many hours into it, and not much had changed for the years. So, but yeah, there's been a lot of changes. You got your gun mechanics, obviously, that's changed quite a bit. A lot of stuff now works through inventory. Not in the inventory, sorry, but if you have to put stuff in your hands to combine things like that to make it a little bit more realistic. You've got your sort of movement and mechanics have changed quite a lot. You can actually jump now. You never used to be able to jump before. When I went in and started playing this, it felt like I was playing a completely different game, just because of the way the environment looks and the way your character handles. And the UI system has been changed as well, so your inventory system has been completely rewritten, redone. You know, and that's a lot better than the one before. They've really improved on sort of lag, whereas before you used to be able to have to pull your gun and swap your guns around, and it used to be stupidly laggy, and it was always something they said they were going to sort, and they never did over the years. It was all over the place. But the gun mechanics are so much better. I remember that the main reason I stopped playing is because of not being able to find food in the game, and the gun mechanics being absolute shit. But they seem to be a lot more better, and they're a lot more realistic as well. Like you can see there, my gun actually jammed. I'll probably be cursing it in the firefight, but I like the realism and the effect it's having while I'm playing now. Yeah, there's just the main changes there, like the way you're moving, the way the world sort of reacts around you. It seems to be full of more loot, more things you can do, and it just seems to be really sort of sparking my interest a little bit again. I don't know if it'll be enough to pull me back into playing it, and I don't know if it'll be enough to convince friends that I've got to go back into playing it, because that's not something I'd really want to play by myself. Because obviously, if you're walking around in the middle of nowhere for hours, it is going to be boring. If you've got friends that are going to play with you, then great. But it is one of those. But a lot's changed since playing it. I've noticed that. There's obviously there's still bugs and stuff going on, but from where it was a year ago, it's a hell of an update considering how many years it's been the way it's been. Something else I wanted to sort of bring up is the mapping system. The mapping system basically hasn't changed, and you could agree with me or disagree with me on this one. It's entirely your decision. But the mapping system is a little bit annoying for me because it's such a large map. Everyone spends most of their time running across this map and not doing anything besides pressing W on the keyboard. If you want a map, you've got to find it, and you can't select where you want to spawn, so it makes it hard to team up with your friends when they do come online. But a few times I've found that a couple of my mates would spawn in at like 6 o'clock, we'd be on two of the sides of the map, we'd be running to try and meet each other, we'd either one of us die on the way and then end up spawning somewhere else and spend most of the time looking at a map online trying to figure out where we were. And then when we did finally get with each other, one of us would end up dying then, or all end up dead, and then we'd have to try and find each other again. So we'd spend about 4 hours trying to get to each other, and then sometimes we wouldn't even get there. So that's the most annoying bit for me. I don't know if they plan to change that in the future, but I can understand why they want to put it in for realism, but it's hindering the game quite a bit, and I don't know if that's going to change. Something I am quite liking at the minute, and I've been messing around with a little bit now, I've actually got some clips and some ammo in my inventory, is the way you have to actually put the clips in your hand and load bullets into the clips for your guns, instead of having to do it in your inventory. It is quite cool. It does put a bit of a panic into a situation when you're in a gunfight, obviously, because you have to, if you run out of bullets in your clip, then you're going to have to empty your clip, well, you're going to have to refill your clip, redo your gun. So I'm quite liking the realism in that fact. It's good, but it seems like a bit of a mess around. I don't know if I'm doing it the complete wrong way because I haven't played it for such a long time, but you've got to put your gun in your hand, take your clip out your gun, put your gun away, put the clip back into your hand, and then drag the bullets over to reload your clip, put your clip back in your inventory, and then load your clip, put your gun in your hands, and then reload your clip into your gun. So I don't know if I'm doing that well over the top, or if that's the way it's actually done. But yeah, I quite like the idea of it. It looks pretty cool. Modes of transportation in this game seem to be few and far between. And then obviously when you do find a car, or a Jeep, or a big van, they do tend to be absolutely knackered. They tend to have batteries missing, tyres missing, doors and hoods missing. It's good that they're in the game. I know they've been doing a lot of stress tests with the cars and how they react, and that they've completely changed. They can skid all over the place, all sorts like that. But this is the first car that I've seen since playing this for the last couple of days, just trying to get myself back into it again. And it was missing quite a lot of stuff. I think someone was already trying to rebuild it. There's quite a lot of stuff around the area, but I was nowhere near an industrial zone. It would take me hours to put everything together and put it into the car to get it running, to get it moving again. And sometimes it's a bit like, well, I can understand realism on it, but is it applicable? And I know a lot of people will bin a lot of hours into this game, but a lot of people can't do that. So it's a bit like, I'm a bit about this one, to be honest. I'm not sure. I would have loved to drive it if it worked, but sadly it wasn't so. If you've managed to put up with my cold so far, I do thank you, because it is doing my absolute nutting, and I know how I sound, and I sound awful. I did actually manage to find a Mosin and a PU scope, which was pretty cool. I haven't had one of these in the game for a very long time. I'm not going to pretend my sniping skills are top shit, because they're not. They are shit. Full stop. But yeah, it was quite interesting how this has changed now, because the actual interface and the way it works is completely different as well. Instead of having to press spacebar to raise your fists or pull up your rifle, now you hold right click, which will pull up your gun or pull up your fists. If you want to aim down your scope, you have to tap the middle mouse wheel, which will bring you into eye line of your main crosshairs, and then if you want to look at your scope, you have to roll your mouse wheel up, which will change your view from the crosshair into the scope, which is kind of good. It's a lot better than it was before, because pressing space, having to move around, that was the stuff that was really doing my head in when I was actually trying to play the game before, and it was just clunky and horrible, and the bullets would fly all over the place, you wouldn't hit shit, and then you end up getting murdered. But it seems to be a lot different now. I mean, the gunplay is a hell of a lot better, just literally because you can right click, raise your gun, fire. I don't know why it wasn't like that in the first place, but hey ho. But yeah, it's definitely better. I mean, using the scope and everything, sniping's hard in this game anyway. You've got your distance, you get your range finders. You can see I was taking pop shots at a zombie. Some little guy ran out of the police station. I thought I'd try and take a pop shot at him. Pretty sure I didn't hit him because I'm shit. But yeah, it's a lot better, especially if you like doing that sort of thing in game. If you like using your ranged weapons or your close weapons, the gunplay is definitely a lot better than it used to be, and I think it's going to make it a lot more fun, especially if we want to go into I think there's dedicated servers now for like sort of where you spawn in the airfield, loads of loot, a bit of PvP, people love it, you know. If it's going to be a lot better by doing all that sort of stuff with the new sort of gun mechanics and the sort of interface mechanics with it as well. So hopefully that'll only get better in the future as it goes on as well. Survival. The only thing I found that worth killing was that chicken, or rooster, cock, or whatever you want to call it. I like the survival aspect that they're trying to add into the game. It's just not there yet, if you ask me, because I was expecting to see herds of cows, deer, that sort of stuff. I know there's supposed to be wolves. I haven't seen them yet either. And I've spent quite a bit of time playing it, and nothing. So just the odd chicken there, here and there. So, you know, it would be good to have that coming up properly in the future. And then obviously survivalists like to stay in the forest and that. If you can make like a quick makeshift shelter, that'd be good. I know you can get tents in the game, you can base build, but base build takes ages from what I've seen, and tents are few and far between. So if they could put something like that in the game, that'd be brilliant. But yeah, definitely, if we could get some sort of survival aspect, I think it would make the game more enjoyable instead of people just want to constantly shoot each other. Cooking mechanics haven't really changed that much. Obviously, you put chicken on a stick, put chicken over the fire, cook it, and then eat it. What I did notice though while playing it is if you press the little arrow on the right hand side with your full stop on it, it brings up a little wheel that gives you all the options to do all your gestures. So you'll probably see here you can do different things like salute, wave, but you can do more things now like lie down, sit down, all that sort of stuff has started to bring things into more realistic fruition, if that makes any sense. So instead of people just standing around with their guns in their hands, if they're somewhere safe, they can sit down or they can lie down, you know, make it a little bit more realistic. I'm assuming like the roleplay servers would love stuff like that, so they've put a lot of stuff into the game with that, and obviously given the option wheel as well, to because we're all going to run out of like keys at the top of the keyboard all the way up from F1 to F12, so they've put a lot of stuff in there and just made it into a little wheel where you can select whatever you want, which I quite like. I quite like that. I spent an actual night in one of these little barns before. The other night I was playing with another character and actually hit night, and I hardly had anything for light, and I was able to get into one of these where I had a lockpick so I could lock the door so no one could get in, and then light it up with a couple of glow sticks and that. And it was quite a cool experience because it was pitch black outside. I couldn't see anything, and you're just constantly wondering if someone's outside knocking around, can they see you, can you see the light through the little windows. I quite like that, and they're making, I think, the night play on it a little bit more enjoyable with that as well now. It gives it that, it makes it feel eerie. You can't see the zombies either, so they start squealing at you. But yeah, I do like the idea. Maybe if I do get into it a little bit, maybe build a base out of this, because all you need is sort of a wall on one of the back walls and a gate in front of it, and wouldn't take too long to set up, and you're quite safe then. There's only 2 little windows in there, and that's about it. But idea for the future, I suppose. Again, talking about gun mechanics, I'm so happy they managed to sort out some of the gun mechanics in this game. As you can see, I'm actually hitting stuff, and before I was absolutely awful at it, and I know I'm shit, but I'm not that shit. But yeah, it's nice to see that the actual gun mechanics give you half a chance of actually winning in the game now. I was amazed to see people that used to play old DayZ with the mechanics the way they were, and they actually used to be good at it. It's just like, wow, okay, well done. But yeah, it's nice to see that the gun mechanics are like nice and smoothed out a little bit. Obviously, you got the reloading, but they want to make it as realistic as they possibly can. But it's nice to have that sort of level playing field. If you do bump into a stranger, you haven't got to worry about FPS dropping, optimization being shit, and the gun mechanics being shit at the same time. Because when you die because of something like that, I'd rather die through my own fault than the game being a twat. You know what I mean? But it is so much better than it used to be, and I do like that. One thing I did notice when filling up my canteens at water sources and streams, things like that, I did hear something on another video, someone else, can't remember who it was, but apparently people are moaning about your sort of water going down after you've started drinking water, but it actually turns out that you can catch a parasite through the water, and that's obviously what makes you, like, your water go quicker. It actually makes you sick as well. Now, you'll probably see in this clip in a minute that I've drank quite a lot of water from the lake. On the bottom right hand corner, you'll see like a little bacteria sign come up next to the water, which I'm assuming makes it ill, and it also forces your character to get sick. I'm not sure on what extent that is, because I know that they were putting sort of filtration tablets into the game and everything. They've been doing it for years, but nothing's ever come of people drinking water out of a lake, or the need for boiling water has never been there. So actually quite cool that they've actually implemented that now. That is might be a fact that it's just popped up. It might be a fact that you need to boil your water from now on. So those are the main things I'm probably bringing from beta so far. I mean, there's going to be a lot more out there. There's a couple of things on people's lists that are probably ranking a little bit higher than mine. All depends what you see DayZ as. I mean, some people see it as loading in, getting as many weapons as you possibly can, and shooting the living shit out of anything that moves. Others like to try and play the survival aspect of it. Probably one of the bonuses I've seen so far is now that the sort of betas come out, they've instead of just having your normal servers that are coming up from them, you get servers that are opened up by other people as well. So you've got the Steam community that are currently modding things. I've seen a mod in there for a trader, and some of the maps are using like trading posts and safe zones, which is kind of cool because more's going to come of that. You'll probably find different missions and stuff that you can do coming up in the future. The trading zone are going to make it so much easier to base build things like that, and then you'll have other things coming in the future. So that does look bright. I do like the idea of that. When the modded community get hold of this game, there's going to be so much coming out for it. It's going to make it so much more fun. It's just a shame that Bohemia couldn't sort that out in the first place, because now the modded community is going to get involved. It's going to put them to shame a little bit, I think. But it's just my idea. I would like to say I want to play this more in the future, but it all depends on what happens next with the game, to be honest. I'm really enjoying it. Convincing old friends that I used to play with on this game to start playing again, I think it's going to be very hard, purely because of the fact of the way this has been treated over the years by Bohemia. People are definitely coming back to the game, don't get me wrong, but I think they're going to have to... They've made a lot of headway with releasing beta. There's still a lot of bugs and stuff. Zombies get stuck in things and blah blah. Same old story. It's looking a lot better than it used to. I mean, some of my older videos of what DayZ used to look like when I was a lot younger, and when I first started making videos, compared to what it looks like now, it's completely different. But yeah, it all depends on what Bohemia are going to do next and how they're going to continue rolling this out, and that's going to justify who comes back to the game, starts playing it again. I've always loved the DayZ idea. It's just when standalone came out and it spent so many years just we're being told one thing and then something else happened, it was just a bit like, okay. And there's a lot of people that say, oh, the mods are still better, things like that. I mean, yeah, I mean, Arma 3 mods are pretty decent for DayZ. There's got a lot of hording zombies in it, things like that, but at the end of the day, a lot of people don't play the Arma 2 mod because it's outdated now compared to everything else that's out there. So just kind of fingers crossed that hopefully this turns into what everybody wants it to be, even though it's a good couple of years late. But yeah, if you did get this far into the video, thanks for putting up with my shitty cold. I didn't use my proper Rode microphone, actually. I'm using a microphone on my headset because I haven't used it for a little while. I haven't made a video for a little while, to be honest. I'm kind of hoping to get everything up and running again in the new year. It's just I spend most of my day working behind a computer, and sometimes the last thing I want to do when I get home at night is continue to sit behind a computer for the next 5 or 6 hours doing editing, or sometimes I don't even want to turn it on. But I do want to get back into it. I did enjoy it so much, and it's just I need to put the time into it and just start doing it again. I just think I got well over the top with it last time. Just I'd come in from work, I'd sit down, I'd start playing, and I'd start editing for hours, and I'd think to myself, hang on, I haven't stopped yet. So I do need to find a happy medium between the two. But yeah, I'd something I do want to start getting into, start making videos again, get the old guys back together, start doing some stuff. But yeah, if you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe, and I shall see you guys in the next one.